Fast, focused, and fearless, here's everything you need to know this rush hour of December 25, Christmas Day. I'm Jamie Harrell. Starting off today's rush with Typhoon Ursula bringing a stormy Christmas over parts of the Visayas. In Eastern Samar, heavy rain causing almost zero visibility accompanied residents in welcoming Christmas Day. Ursula also caused damage to the power supply in Isabel Leyte, with street lights flickering a few minutes before total blackout in the town. Over in Tacloban, strong winds and heavy downpour caused by Ursula reminded some residents of the devastation brought by Typhoon Yolanda back in 2013. And in Medellin, Cebu, Typhoon Ursula flooded some homes, forcing residents to hold their doors and move their belongings on Christmas Eve. As expected, Typhoon Ursula has started to wreak havoc as early as yesterday, leaving passengers heading out to their provinces stranded for the time being. Ria Fernandez has the report.
The Lusabias booked their tickets to Bacolod as early as October, making sure that Christmas is spent with their grandmother and relatives. But Typhoon Ursula ruined their plans.
Dagdag pamasahe, abala, tas init pa, syempre. Syempre nag-e-expect na yung pupuntahan namin doon na makakauwi kami. So ayun, wala talaga, as in na Merry Christmas.
Leo was also headed for Bacolod, but because of Ursula, he decided to just send money to his wife and postpone his trip to next year.
Makapiling namin ng pamilya namin. Hindi na makapiling namin kasi Pasko na eh.
Judith said she decided to get a refund because they can only reschedule for a January 2 trip. She will try to look for a flight instead.
Kagabi lang sila nag-cancel 9:30.
Over 4,000 passengers at the Manila North Port have been affected by canceled trips. To Go Travel meanwhile asked for patience and understanding.
From our end, we always wait for the Philippine Coast Guard to lift the whole departure order. And once we get that clearance, then we will resume our operations right away.
Other passengers, though, have opted to wait at the port until the weather clears.
Kahit na magpapasko kami sa barko, sa gitna ng laot, yun lang habol namin, makapagbagong taon kami sa lugar ng asawa ko.
For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Even after making landfall over parts of the Visayas, Typhoon Ursula has intensified further as it moves toward northern Iloilo. And to give us an update on the Typhoon Ursula, we have with us on the line Pag-asa weather forecaster, Chris Perez. Chris, first up, can you give us a rundown on the areas under tropical cyclone wind signals?
Yes, good morning. So far, we still have a tropical cyclone wind signal hoisted over number 3 over Masbate, including Ticao Island, Romblon, Southern Oriental Mindoro, Southern Occidental Mindoro, as well as over the extreme northern Cebu area, including the Bantayan Island, over the province of Capiz, Aklan, and northern Antique. Now, we have a warning signal number 2 over southern portion of Quezon, Marinduque, the rest of Oriental Mindoro and Occidental Mindoro, including Lubang Island, over the provinces of Albay, Sorsogon, Burias Island, Calamian, and Cuyo Island. Over the Visayas area, warning signal number 2 over Biliran, northwestern Leyte, northern Samar, rest of northern Cebu including Camotes Island, central Cebu, the rest of Iloilo and Antique, Guimaras, and northern Negros Occidental. Now, these areas under warning signal numbers 3 and 2 are expected to experience stormy weather with rough to very rough sea conditions. Warning signal number 1, meanwhile, is still in effect over Bataan, Metro Manila, Rizal, Cavite, the rest of Quezon, over Laguna, Batangas, Camarines Provinces, Catanduanes, northern mainland Palawan, Eastern Samar, rest of Leyte, southern Leyte, Bohol, Siquijor, the rest of Cebu, the rest of Negros Occidental, and Negros Oriental. These areas, including Metro Manila, expected to experience rains and gusty winds today. Now, Ursula expected to exit the landmass of the country probably this afternoon or early evening, and we will continue to provide 3-hourly updates about this weather disturbance. The next update will be at 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay, Chris, so we know where it is right now and we expect it to leave around tonight, right? But
Yes.
do we expect it to intensify further?
The moment we're still expecting this one to at least maintain its current, at least over typhoon category. It's not expected to intensify further into super typhoon. However, that is why we will continue to provide updates, and hopefully the general public has already prepared themselves, especially those that are on the direct path of the center of the typhoon.
Okay, are there any possible storm surge? Like, do we have gale warnings?
We have gale warning over the northern eastern seaboards of Mindanao as well as over the eastern seaboard of Central Luzon. And all the areas with warning signals are also expected to experience rough to very rough sea conditions. That is why sea travel are likely cancelled over this particular areas with warning signal as well as over the eastern seaboard of Central Luzon and the northern and eastern seaboards of Mindanao.
Okay, Chris, I have one more question. Are there any other weather disturbances?
So far after Ursula, we're not expecting any weather disturbance until the end of the year.
Okay, well, thank you, Pag-asa weather forecaster Chris Perez. They say the Philippines has the longest Christmas holiday in the world, and why not? This year, more Filipinos are expecting a happy Christmas celebration, and that's 79% or 4 out of 5 Filipinos to be exact, according to the social weather stations. This is the highest rate since 2002. The December survey by the SWS also notes that 76% of respondents believe it's still better to give than to receive. And take note of that, Ninong and Ninangs. And in terms of region, an optimistic outlook on Christmas is highest in the Visayas, followed by Mindanao and Balanced Luzon. The proportion of those expecting a happy Christmas has been historically lowest in Metro Manila. In his Christmas message, President Duterte urged Filipinos to take part in spreading happiness this Christmas season. The chief executive asked everyone to follow Jesus Christ's example of empathy, love, grace, and selflessness. Christmas is a time for sharing, and so the president called on Filipinos everywhere to open their hearts and extend their hands to the less fortunate. He added that all of us should share the blessings we receive in the past year. The Philippines has a rich Christmas tradition, but Duterte says the family should still be the center of our celebration. He also emphasized the importance of small acts of benevolence that may serve as an inspiration to others. Around Christmas, everyone is a little bit kinder, and Duterte hopes that we could hold on to the sense of shared humanity even beyond the holidays as we steer our nation towards a better future. Family also took center stage in Vice President Leni Robredo's Christmas message. And like the chief executive, she also called on the Filipinos to help the needy, especially the victims and survivors of calamities that recently hit the country. Robredo said we should hold on to hope and remember the things that unites this country, in spite of all of the issues that deeply divide us. She asked everyone to look beyond our differences and realize that we are still more alike than different.
Magkakaiba man ang ating pinagmulan, pananampalataya at mga paniniwala, iisang mukha lang sana ang makita natin sa ating patuloy na pakikisalamuha. Ang mukha ng pagkakaisa at pag-asa sa hirap man o ginhawa. Ang mga pagdiriwang na katulad nito ay isang pambihirang pagkakataon upang ipakita natin na sa huli, ang mga bagay na nagbubuklod sa atin ay higit na mas matibay kesa sa mga bagay na sumisira sa ating pagkakaisa.
It's rather memorable night for Manila Archbishop Luis Antonio Cardinal Tagle as he presided his last Christmas Eve Mass before assuming his new post at the Vatican. Tagle was recently appointed prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples by Pope Francis. In his homily, he urged the faithful to choose the path of salvation and peace and ongoing about their daily lives and not just for the Christmas holiday. Ahead of his Christmas Eve Mass, Cardinal Tagle also had a reminder for Catholics this gift-giving season, particularly to those who have been stressing about what to give others.
Let us not forget The gifts that we give and receive are some symbols and signs of the greatest gift that God the Father sends to us, His Son Jesus. If you have nothing to give, an object to give, you still have Jesus, and you have yourself. Embody the humility, the compassion, the joy of Jesus. That is the most precious gift. And people will appreciate that even after Christmas is gone.
Many families are separated not just by distance but also by prison walls. That's why during Christmas, authorities often make an exception and allow families to reunite for a brief but precious time. Here's the story.
This is the first Christmas of Mang Jan's son at the Cubao Police Station jail in Quezon City. He decided to pay him a visit on Christmas Eve. His son was arrested for theft.
Siyempre, papasko po, nagkainuman. Yun nga po, hindi niya alam, nandudukot wala siya. Malungkot po. Dahil kulang. Siguro po, dadalang ko na lang siya ng mga medyo na pagkain para naman sumaya siya.
There were others also visiting their loved ones at the station. In the spirit of the season, persons under custody are allowed family bonding time just a few feet outside their jail cells. They are given 2 hours at most, but inmates can only leave the cells one at a time.
Yung simpleng pamasko sa aming mga person under police custody yan tinatawag, na kung saan binigyan natin ng oras yung kailang pamilya at yung kailang kamag-anak na nakakakulong na magkaroon ng quality time, especially ngayong Christmas. Limit lang within the compound namin dito sa police station, within compound lang, at may schedule sila.
The De Los Santos family's breadwinner was detained this month for a drug-related case. They took advantage of the visiting privilege and gathered over a simple feast of spaghetti, ice cream, and beef steak. It was their early Noche Buena.
Hindi namin siya makakasama mamayang gabi, kaya ngayon na, in advance na.
Okay lang po sa inyo yan, ma'am.
Wala tayong magagawa. Yun talaga eh.
They said what matters most is being together on Christmas Eve. But while the families celebrate, the police kept watchful.
Ang mga kapulisan po naman natin, nakatingin naman po sa kanila para maiwasan po na maisahan tayo, makalusot po sila sa natin, sa pagbabantay natin.
For News 5, Jenny Dongon, PR1 News.
Meanwhile, Pope Francis led over 1 million Catholics into Christmas with a solemn mass at the St. Peter's Basilica on Tuesday. Catholic faithful from all over the world gathered in Vatican ahead of the Christmas Eve Mass led by Pope Francis. In his homily, Pope Francis urged Catholics not to let the so-called failings of the Church keep them away from God's love. His message comes as the Catholic Church faces sexual abuse scandals and corruption allegations. Meanwhile, some worshippers and tourists took the time to celebrate Christmas in the very site believed to be the birthplace of Jesus. Pilgrims walked through the narrow sandstone entrance to the centuries-old Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, to celebrate the holidays. Palestinian security personnel were present in the area as the country's Ministry of Tourism reports one of the busiest Christmas season on record. Aside from Christmas trees, fancy lights, and Noche Buena, Paskong Pinoy wouldn't be complete without singing Christmas carols. And some Filipinos brought this tradition to London. Jay Arance with the story.
It's Christmas time here in London. The streets are sprinkled with dancing colorful lights while people are in a rush for their last-minute gift shopping. But Christmas wouldn't be the same without the carolers. And when you talk about Christmas caroling, Filipinos are always ready to give their best performance. Haraya Choral Group is just one of the few Filipino-British singing groups in the United Kingdom. Founded in 2017, this group of more than 20 members has performed in different events in London. Most of the members of the singing group are nurses and medical workers in the National Health Services of the UK.
Best to promote Filipino music and Filipino talent here in the UK. That's why we put up things like this, and also for the Filipino audience who miss hearing Filipino Christmas songs or Filipino love songs.
Last December 7, they performed in St. Cuthbert Church in London, where they serenaded hundreds of Filipino and British audiences. An early Christmas gift for those Filipinos who miss hearing Pinoy classical Christmas hymns.
Wala ko sabi, talagang okay sila.
Pasko na, sinta ko, yan. At saka, simbang gabi, simula ng Pasko. Ay, kuwela sa akin yun. Naalala ko yung Pilipinas. Kasi nga, ang mahal-mahal ng pamasahe pag Pasko, kaya miss na miss ko talaga ang Pasko. So nung marinig ko ang kantang Filipino, parang, woo! Twing! Pasko.
Much more powerful than I ever expected. And obviously, not my first time, second time, so I had to come back for more.
With conviction, guys.
Singing Filipino songs to different groups of audiences is a special moment for all the members of the choir.
Christmas in the Philippines, I mean, when we were back home, is really very, very special. It's very family-centric, friend-centric, and it's also centered on Christianity and going to church. And here in the UK, it's not like that at all, you see. So we miss that, yung parang sense of belonging, sense of parang the grand occasion of it.
And this Christmas, all they want is for their voices to warm the hearts of their listeners in this very cold winter season. For News 5, Jay Orense, we are One News.
Merry Christmas! And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us next time for another round of Rush. For Risa Diaz, I'm Jamie Harrell. We are One News.